Hello, welcome back to my channel, Lovely Moments Creating. If you are new here, welcome. Come on in and join the family. All you have to do is hit that subscribe button and remember the notification bell so you could be reminded every time I upload a video. My name is Jenny, and on this channel I create lovely DIYs using mostly items that I find at the Dollar Tree. I try to keep my DIYs budget friendly but easy to do. If you want to see some of my fall creations, then keep watching. Thank you so much for watching another one of my videos. I am so sad that I am wrapping up my fall DIY videos. I only have one more fall decor video to upload, and then I'll be moving into some other home decor. I absolutely love the fall, so this makes me sad, but I'm excited for the other decor ideas that I'll be sharing with you. For this first DIY, I'll be using two of these salsa bowls, and I did pick these up from Walmart, and they're only $1. And I also have some other Walmart items here that was 98 cents. I have this cute little fall pick, and I have two of these greenery bunches, and these were also 98 cents, as well as these lamb's ears. And I also have these two floral bunches here, and they were 98 cents a piece. And the items that I'll be using that's from the Dollar Tree will be some of this decorative rope. I have one of these round foam pieces, and I'll be using some of these black stones from the Dollar Tree. And what I'm going to do first is glue these two bows together by their legs. I'm just going to add glue to all four of these legs, and then I'm going to attach the other bow by the legs and glue it together just like that. And then once I have all of that secure, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take that decorative rope and I'm going to cover the openings, and I'm just going to add the glue to the bows, and I'm just going to wrap the rope all the way around until I cover the openings. I don't want that part to show, so I'm going to make sure that I wrap the rope around it. It is going to cause some indentions in the part where the legs aren't, but that's okay because I do like the shape that it's going to create. And so I'm just going to continue to wrap that until it's covered. And once that's complete, I took that foam piece and I just cut it down so it can fit inside of this bow, and I'm just going to insert it, and I'm going to add some glue around it. I'm going to add enough so it won't be moving around in the bow. And then after I get that secured, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start adding my floral pieces to the bunches, but I did have to cut them down. I did cut them down to the last notch because I wanted to make sure that they wasn't standing up too tall in the bow since it's short. And what I'm doing now is I'm just removing the green leaves off of these florals because I didn't want the green leaves on there, and then I'm just going to start inserting them. The look that I'm going for is I just wanted something chunky. I wanted to give a fall vibe with something kind of neutral that can kind of blend in with any decor. And so what I'm doing is just adding in all of my pieces, and I'm going to take that piece, that pick that has the pumpkin on it, and I'm going to add that to the middle. And then after I get all of those floral pieces in there, I'm going to go in and add my stones. And after I add my stones, this DIY will be complete, and I really like how it turned out. I really like the neutral colors, so this will be able to blend in with any fall decor that you may have. And so now I'm going to get started on the second DIY for today. And for this DIY, the items from the Dollar Tree will be two of these Halloween signs. I also have this wording that says Harvest, and these came in a 3-pack of wordings from the Dollar Tree. The items that I'll be using for Walmart is two of these beautiful little cotton tails with these burlap leaves, and these were only 98 cents at Walmart, as well as another one of those fall picks. I also will be using a little bit of my duct tape that I purchased from Walmart, and I'll be going in with the color Antique Wax. And I'm just sanding down where the spots where I pull the strings off because they were with staples, and so they kind of pulled up the wood a little bit. And so what I'm doing is just making sure that these well lined up, and then I'm going to flip them over, and I'm going to add some of that tape right down the middle to keep these two signs together. I will be adding some hot glue to glue these two signs together, but I'm adding the tape so it can hold while I glue them together. And I'm actually going to go over these signs with this tape because I don't want the glitter to be falling everywhere, and just to cover it up to give it more of a neat look. And so now that the tape is holding it, I can go right along the crease with the hot glue and glue the sign together. And I'm just trying to make sure that everything is secure and everything is tight. And then I am going to paint this with that antique wax, but I did go over it, like I said, with the duct tape because I wanted to make sure that everything looked neat on the other side. And so I went over the whole side with the duct tape. And now what I'm going to do is paint it with that chalk paint. And now that everything has dried, I'm going to add my decor, and I'm going to take these two cottontail picks and I am going to add them on each side of this sign in the middle, just like this. And I'm going to use my hot glue for this part. And then I'm just going to attach it by the stems. And this way, if I want to change this decor up for next season, I can just pull these up and they'll be reusable. And so I'm just going to add the other one right next to it and press that down and make sure that everything is secure. But I am going to cut my pumpkins and these other decor pieces off of this stem because I like using these items separate. And so I'm just going to attach those using some hot glue as well. I am going to glue my harvest wording to this sign. I'm going to use hot glue. I'm not going to glue it down too tight because I will go back in later and glue it down with some E6000, but I don't have much E6000 right now. I just have a little, and so I have to pick up some more. And so just for video purposes, I'm going to use a little bit of hot glue. And I'm going to attach the sign, attach the word to the sign, and then I'm going to add a little jute cord with some of that duct tape so this sign could be able to be hung, and then this DIY will be complete. And so I did braid 3 pieces of the jute cord together, as you can see, and I'm just going to take some of that tape and attach it to the jute cord. And this tape is really strong. I really like this tape, and I like the color of it. It looks like burlap ribbon. I love this tape, and so I'm just going to add it to the jute cord and then press this down, and it will be secure, and I'll be all finished with my sign. And this is how my harvest sign turned out. Very simple. I really love it. I am going to go back and glue the harvest down with some E6000, and this will be complete. I absolutely love how this turned out. And now I'm going to get started on the third DIY for today. And what I'll be using for this DIY, I have 4 of these cute little signs that have these beads attached to them. And I have this cute little fall pick from the Dollar Tree. And I have some of the small letters that the Dollar Tree sell as well. And then I have some of this poster board. I already used some of this for a previous DIY. And I did get that poster board from Hobby Lobby for 59 cents. I'm going to remove these beads. I'm not going to use them in this DIY. I love to get stuff for $1 for 2-in-1. So I'm going to create a DIY today, and I'm actually going to use these beads for a later boho DIY that I will be creating. So I'm just going to remove these, and I'm going to save these for a later date. I love these Dollar Tree signs because I like that you can just take the backs off. You know, very simple, very easy. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove all of the backs to these signs, and I am just going to add these pieces of the poster board that I cut to the size of them, and I'm just going to take my tacky glue and I'm going to add it to it, and then I'm just going to brush over the sign, and then I'm going to take a piece of that poster board and I'm just going to press it down right on top of the glue, and I'm going to do all 4 of the sign backings the same way, and then I'm just going to insert them right back into the frame. And now what I'm going to do is glue 2 of these signs together. As you can see, I found a small tube of E6000 and it's pretty empty as well. I'm struggling over here. I really do need to take a trip to Walmart and get me some more glue. So I'm going to use some hot glue for this as well, and I'm going to glue these 2 signs together. I'm also going to use some of that duct tape and I'm going to put it on the back just for some extra reinforcement. And after I get the 2 signs together, I did add the tape to the back, and what I'm going to do is I poured all of the little pieces off of that fall stem, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a couple of pieces and add them right down the center of each one of these. And I am going to take that green leaf after I get these down to try to cover up the stem where I added the glue. I'm going to get both pieces attached to both of the frames first, and then I'll go over it with the extra little green leaf just to make sure you don't see where I glued it down. And as you can see, I had to pull off another one. It was like 1 left on the bunch, but I got them both covered. And so now all I have to do is go in and add my words. And for one, I'm going to put be kind, and for the other one, I'm going to add give thanks. I really like these little letters that the Dollar Tree sell. And there's my be kind. This is so simple and so cute. And now all I have to do is add the wordings to my other sign, and then these 2 will be complete. And so here's the finished look. I really like how these turned out. They're very simple. Be kind and give thanks. And so what I'm going to do is get started on the next DIY for today. And for this DIY, I'll be using one of these white baskets from the Dollar Tree. Also from the Dollar Tree, I have this cute little fall pick. I will be using one of these little small branch stems, and my favorite Dollar Tree foam pumpkin. And my items that I'll be using for Walmart will be some of this raffia, and I have 2 bunches of these lamb's ears. And I also will be using some chalk paint for this DIY, and I'll be using some ivory color as well as a little truffle color. What I'm going to do first is just remove that little green stem from the pumpkin, and I'm going to go ahead and paint this pumpkin using that ivory color, and I'm going to paint the whole pumpkin with that color. The next thing I'm going to do is take that truffle color, and I'm going to dry brush in between each one of the grooves, as well as I'm going to dry brush over the pumpkin very lightly with the same color. And I'm just doing very light strokes. I didn't want to do too much heavy dry brushing over the pumpkin. I just wanted to add a little color to it. And now that I have completed that, I'm going to attach these leaves as well as the little wood stem to the pumpkin. And I'm just going to add the glue and attach it right in the center, and then I'm going to go on each side of that stem with the leaves. I'm just going to add some glue to tack it down. I didn't want it to be too detached from the pumpkin. I kind of wanted to touch the pumpkin a little more than usual, so I'm just going under it with some of the hot glue. And then now I'm just going to add my raffia to the basket, and I'm just going to spread it out a little bit. And then I'm going to go in with those lamb ears, and I'm going to fold them. I'm not going to cut those down because you can use these later, and so I'm just going to fold them down and add those to each side of this basket, just tucking them into the raffia. And then after I get these tucked in very well, I'm going to add my pumpkin right on top and just kind of lean it a little bit. And then I did cut the other little pieces off that floral pick, and I'm just going to add those right around the front of the pumpkin, and then this DIY will be complete as well. And this is how it turned out. Now this is so simple and so cute. I really like how this turned out. So neutral colors. This can also blend in with a lot of different fall colors. I really love this one. And now I'm going to get started on the last DIY. I will be using 2 of these floral bunches from the Dollar Tree, and I did remove the green leaves off of them. I also have 2 of these little wood frames with these canvas on them, and as you can see, I already removed the canvas off one, and they just stapled on here, so you can just remove them by the staples, or you can cut it off. I just cut mine off. I have one of these small little craft bottles. I'll be using some Dollar Tree twine. And I have one of these little wood pieces out of the pack that the Dollar Tree sell, and I think it's 5 in that pack. And I will be going in using some of that antique wax as well as that ivory color chalk paint. And then I'm going to glue these 2 frames together, and I'm adding the glue on the side where the staples were. That way I don't have to remove anything and you won't see it. And I'm just going to make sure that everything is tight and secure. After that's together, I'm going to take that piece and I'm going to glue it right on top of the little square wood piece, and I'm just going to center it. And I'm going to use my hot glue for that. I'm just going to add hot glue to the bottom, and I'm just going to center this wood piece right on top of the little square piece. And after I get that centered the best way that I can, I am going to go in and I'm going to paint this using that antique wax color chalk paint. And now that I have that painted, I am going to take this little craft bottle and I am going to paint this using that ivory color chalk paint. And I'm also going to use that ivory color, and I'm going to distress the wood piece with that as well, because I want to give it a very worn out look. So after I finish painting this, I will distress that piece using the leftover ivory paint on the brush. And now that I have finished that, I'm going to go over and now start heavily distressing the wood piece. I am going to blend this in really good. I'm just trying to make sure I add enough paint because I really want to create a worn out look for this DIY. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm just adding some jute cord around the top of this little craft bottle. And I'm just going around the top. I'm just using my hot glue for that. And I did brush over that ivory color with a little bit of that truffle color just to give it a little color to it. And now I'm just going to add some glue, and I'm going to glue this right to the bottom of the DIY. And that is how it is looking. And it is an opening right there in the center, and that's how I'm going to add my florals. I did cut them down a little bit, and I'm just going to slat them right in between the opening. And then I'm going to fluff the flowers out a little bit, and then this DIY will be complete. I just want to make sure that you can see both florals on either side, because this is like a two-sided DIY, and this is how it turned out. So simple, so cute. I absolutely love it. I love that it has this worn out look to it. I'm very, very happy with how this turned out. I am actually happy with how all of these DIYs turned out today, and here's another look of them. They are all so simple, so fall. I really am happy with how they turned out. Let me know in the comment box below, as always, which one of these DIYs were your favorite. And if you like this video, please remember to give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already done so, please subscribe to my channel. I would love to have you here. Thank you so much for watching another one of my videos. Thank you so much for your thoughtful comments. I really truly appreciate your support. And always, as always, stay safe, and I will see you in the next video.